Hello again, everybody. This is Rocketrickj18 from the launching pad, and this is a video is going to be a continuation of the one that I did a couple of days ago with some hockey cards, including some O-Pee-Chee cards that I picked up at a SSPC in Sydney, Nova Scotia, during our cruise to the Canadian Maritimes and New England. And the other cards that I have to show you are some recent cards that I got from my good friend Scott at Reindeer Studios. And I was very sad to hear that he's thinking about giving that part of his efforts up. I guess probably to concentrate on more lucrative things, I suppose. So, in whatever he does, I mean, we'll figure out some way to support him. He's just such a talented guy. So anyway, let's go ahead and start with by turning the camera down and with the Reindeer Studio cards. So the first one is a card that Scott comes from a piece of an artwork, of sort of a full scale artwork that Scott did for a collector's dream, and for Orlando, and it turned out magnificently. I mean, it just is such a compelling piece of art there, and you can see that it's got the Cuban flag on it, and on the back of the card, it's Scott's signature, and it says, "Scan here to watch this art being created and see the story behind the card." And then up here it says, "This hand-signed ACO art card was created in 2025 by the artist Scott from Reindeer Studios." So that's Martin Dihigo. The next card is card of Don Drysdale. It's number 14 out of 50. Number 14 out of 50. And of course, Drysdale's number was 53. You can see partially on the back of his jersey there. And he's getting ready probably to dust off the player that's crowding the plate a little too much to suit Don. Drysdale, of course, was a rookie in 1957, the last year of the Brooklyn Dodgers. And so his rookie card has him in a Brooklyn hat. And at the end of that year, of course, they packed up everything and moved the team out to Los Angeles. And for a couple of years, they played in the I think they played some games in Wrigley Field. I know that sounds funny, but there actually is a minor league ballpark in Los Angeles, which was think it was a Cubs minor league team played there, and so the Dodgers played their games there as well for a while. And they may have played some games in the Coliseum too. I'm not sure about that. And then, of course, they built the beautiful ballpark in. It's just off the interstate now, as you interstate I-5 as you're coming into the city of Los Angeles. Chavez Ravine was the location, and the ballpark is named after that as well. A beautiful, beautiful ballpark still today. At 60 years plus of age, it looks like a new ballpark. Now, I've never been there, so maybe it's showing some signs of its age now, but it always looks great on TV. The next guy is well known to Red Sox fans and Yankee fans alike. He always pitched tough against the Yankees, and fortunately, the Yankees came out on the positive side quite a few times against him. You know, they get to him late in the game and maybe get him in a little trouble and get into their bullpen. So, but all of that was put to rest in 2004 when the Red Sox were down 3-0 and had just been waxed, like 18-6 or something like that in Game 3, and then they came back and won 4 straight. The only time that's happened in the history of Major League Baseball, whether in the World Series back when that was the only playoff game, and on into all of the many playoff games played since 1969, which was the first year of the expanded playoffs. Anyway, Pedro Martinez had a wonderful earned run average. I mean, at least quite a few years he was below 2 quite a few times. So anyway, here's Pedro Martinez, and this is number 21 of 50. Next is the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. And Willie, of course, was second on the all-time list, home run leaders list, when he retired, and stayed that way until guys like Alex Rodriguez and Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols, Ken Griffey Jr., all passed him up. And but Willie was maybe the most gifted 5-tool player ever to play the game, and he remained so for a long time. Certainly DiMaggio was a 5-tool player, but his career was abbreviated both because of the war and also because of injuries. And nevertheless, Willie played on one world championship team and two other teams that made it to the World Series. He also added a World Series victory, or World Series appearance rather, in 1973, his final year in the major leagues, after he was traded back to the Mets to finish out his career in New York. I've always said and maintained that if Babe Ruth was not the greatest baseball player of all time, then it had to be Willie Mays, because Willie could do things that nobody else could do. He hit the ball hard everywhere. He just could do it all. He could run. He could hit for power, play defense, both catch the ball and run, and throw it. Obviously, the catch and throw that he made in Game 1 of the 1954 World Series is the stuff of legends. There's a biography of Willie Mays, and it's simply called The Catch, or a book about Willie anyway. So 660 lifetime home runs, and just a great athlete. Now, the only thing he didn't do was pitch, and of course Babe Ruth was a great pitcher. He won, I believe, 94 games in 5 seasons. Twice he won over 20 games in a season. And, he did all of that and hit the ball extremely well also. So this is card number 27 of 50, and that's Willie Mays. The next guy is also well known as one of the 8 players banned by Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis following the 1919 Black Sox scandal, a gambling scandal. And many people might not remember that these guys played in 1920, and this guy was a great hitter, a fantastic hitter, one of the best ever, Shoeless Joe Jackson. And this is card number 43 of 50. So thank you, Scott. Shout out to you. As always, whenever I show any of these cards, I always want to show the ones that I've gotten recently from you. So next are some cards that I picked up at the LCS in Sydney, Nova Scotia, which is a little island actually on Nova Scotia, or just off of Nova Scotia, the main body, the mainland. Most of Nova Scotia is surrounded by water, but I guess you'd call it a peninsula. It is attached to the mainland and very close to St. John, New Brunswick. So the first card I got actually is a Nabisco card, and it's bilingual. Of course, these were made in Canada, and that is Steve Rogers, who is a great pitcher for the Montreal Expos. Next is one of the great New York Mets, New York Yankees, Kansas City Royals, David Cone. And this is his 1989 O-Pee-Chee card. So right up here, you can see. And on the back side, there's not much of a bilingual information on the back, just the pitcher and lanceur. David Cone pitched a perfect game for the Yankees. I think it was either the year before or the year after David Wells did it. So the Yankees have Yankee pitchers have thrown 3 perfect games, including Don Larson's in the 1956 World Series, Game 5. Well, this is a guy for the Blue Jays that patrolled center field, Lloyd Mosby, great hitter, a great fielder, and this is his O-Pee-Chee card also. And same thing, not much in of the bilingual down here where it says O-Pee-Chee of Canada, and then it says printed in Canada in French, and over here it says Lloyd and his wife are parents of 2 children. George Bell was another one of the 3 outfielders, and I'm trying to think of who the third one was, and maybe it'll come to me. Here's a guy everybody recognizes from his days with the New York Mets and also with the Cincinnati Reds. He may not remember that he concluded his career in Chicago with the White Sox, and this is his O-Pee-Chee card from 1985. He actually went back to the Mets for a brief time in 1983. It says his home was Greenwich, Connecticut, but he's from Fresno, California. Another Hall of Famer. Did most of his work for the Atlanta Braves, and he is pictured with an Atlanta Braves hat on, and I think that is his Braves uniform. I'm not 100% sure of that. I think it says Atlanta on his uniform, but obviously with the Yankees. And it says on here, now with the Yankees. And this is his 1984 O-Pee-Chee card. The backs are look a little different than the standard Topps cards. In some cases, they're much more vibrant. The style reminds me somewhat of some of the Venezuelan cards that Topps made back in the 60s. And this is George Bell with the Blue Jays. And here's an all-star card from 1984, I believe. maybe 83. And again, it's O-Pee-Chee, and obviously that's George Brett. Here's another guy that was an all-star in the in several different places during his career, but most lately with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, or the Anaheim Angels, as they were sometimes for some part of their time. This guy was money. He went to a little school about 20 miles from my house, Marietta College. And Marietta College was well known around the country as a NAIA powerhouse. They won several national championships, and I'm not sure if they won one during Kent DeColvey's time or not. But he was just lights out. I mean, he was didn't have the longevity of Mariano Rivera, but boy, he was just I don't know. He was you never worried about him coming in. He kind of took over the relief pitching duties after Dave Justy and Ramon Hernandez aged out. So this is Kent DeColvey, and this is his 1983 card. But, he played from 1974 through 1983, and several years thereafter. Here's another Hall of Famer. This guy and Tom Seaver traded. They just like were two heavyweight pitchers, and they just battered each other. Not literally, but figuratively. I was fortunate enough to see them pitch against each other one night in Cincinnati, and it was around this time, probably a year or two, couple years earlier, I would guess. But anyway, they were in a pitcher's duel until Carlton was lifted for a pinch hitter in the top of the ninth inning, and they brought in a relief pitcher to pitch to the bottom of the ninth inning, and Joe Morgan got a base hit. I think he drove in one or two runs. There might have been an error, also. But anyway, it was a great pitcher's duel. Seaver went the distance and got the win. Carlton deserved better, but didn't get it. Here's another Hall of Famer. This guy did his damage with the baseball bat, and although he didn't have a reputation as a great outfielder, he had an outstanding arm and played right field. So that's Reggie Jackson. Years ago, I bought a bat from QVC, and I think it was less than $200, but it had the 5 top living home run hitters at that time, and they were Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Harmon Killebrew, Reggie Jackson, and who was the other one? Aaron, Mays, Jackson, Killebrew. Oh, Frank Robinson, of course. Yeah. So this is a guy that the Phillies traded for oh, who was the second baseman, shortstop, maybe. Well, that doesn't matter. I, I think the Phillies would have been wise to have kept him. Here's another guy that when MLB first started, Larry Boa, Buck Martinez, and yeah, Buck Martinez. Yeah, I can't remember the other guy's name, but their initials were MLB, which of course was the name of the channel. He broke his leg in a collision at home plate and still managed to throw the ball to, I think, third base to try to get an out at third base with a badly broken leg. Here's another Hall of Famer, Robin Yount. 3,000 hits, just like his rookie mate, George Brett. They both made first-time appearances on 1975 Topps set. Here's another Hall of Famer, Jack Morris. Jack Morris pitched one of the greatest World Series games, maybe certainly since the days of Sandy Koufax, when he dueled with the Braves pitcher. His name escapes me at the moment, but I'm losing names faster than I'm pretty soon going to forget my own. John Smoltz. Anyway, he pitched a 10-inning complete game victory in Game 7 of the World Series. Here's George Brett again. In the 1982 and these cards, as I say, they're much more colorful than these are some of the other cards, O-Pee-Chee cards, more vibrant colors, I guess we would say. So that's George Brett. Here's another guy that played in the outfield along with Andre Dawson and Tim Raines, Rock Raines. Cromartie was the center fielder, and as it says here, also played first base. This is the 1981 O-Pee-Chee card. Warren Cromartie. Ellis Valentine, who had an absolute cannon for an arm. And here's 1982 Willie Stargell, O-Pee-Chee. Gary Carter, 1977 O-Pee-Chee. All Hall of Famers. And this guy, of course, this is a 1975 SSPC card of Dave Parker, who came up as a rookie in 1974 uh, and I don't think it mentions. Says that he uh, signed with Pittsburgh in 1970, played for Salem of the Carolina League, and he also played for the Charleston Charlies, Charleston, West Virginia. Dave Parker was from Cincinnati, and ironically, Cincinnati's great outfielder Ken Griffey was from Denora, uh, yeah, Denora, Pennsylvania, suburb of Pittsburgh. So, uh, Hall of Famer Dave Parker, rest in peace. So those are the cards that I have to show you. I also picked up at the LCS in Sydney, Nova Scotia, 2024-25 Parkhurst Champions, cards from the Parkhurst Champions set. There are 8 cards in each pack, and I haven't opened them. I don't intend to open them, so, but I'm glad to have those. And then finally, there's this little jewel, which came to me and I believe this came from Scott, also Reindeer Studios. If I'm wrong, Scott, you can correct me. This is a non-sports pack of awesome All-Stars. And their copyright there is a Leaf, which is an imprint of the Donruss Company. And this shows Super Bubble blows bigger bubbles from Leaf Inc. in Bannockburn, Illinois. So that's what I have for you today, and I will turn the camera up once I get the camera adjusted here. I'll just conclude with this is Rocketrickj18 from the launching pad, wishing all your collecting dreams come true.